was recently looking to buy a new lamp and stumbled on a brand called SUNMORY. As I was looking at some of their products, I kept coming back to this one. Now there are thousands upon thousands of lamps on Amazon, many of which have some amazing RGB effects. Even though this particular product did not have any of the fancy lighting that I love, the reason it stood out was its functionality. It had 3 shelves, and what I was most excited about was the 2 USB ports and 2 power outlets built into the 3rd level. And after looking at it online for a while, I had a sneaky feeling that I could give this a DIY RGB hack with hopefully a few simple modifications. I ended up ordering 2 white ones, and setting it up was probably the most pleasant experience I've ever had assembling something. Let's get everything unpacked and I'll walk you through putting it all together. Here you have the light bulb unit, cable management pieces, pads to prevent scratches in hardwood floors, some threaded rods, a Phillips and hex screwdriver, hex threaded screws, and lastly you have your Phillips headed screws. Step 1, we need to take 4 legs, 4 hex screws, and the bottom base piece. Next, you're going to take the pads and remove the sticky tape and place on the bottom of the base. Continuing step 2, you're going to screw the hex rods into each piece of wood. This can easily be done by hand and it will not let you go any further than halfway. Step 3 and 4 will have you place the shelf that looks the same on both sides over the hex rods, and then step 5 has you screw in 4 more wooden posts into those rods. Steps 6, 7, and 8 are pretty much a repeat of what we just did. Now more than likely you'll continue to build this going vertical, but I'm going to lay it on its side so I can keep the camera a little bit closer. For step 9, you'll use the hex screws to attach the top panel. Step 10 will have us secure the small piece of wood and the power unit to the shelf. For this you'll be using the Phillips screws and screwdriver. For step 11, we'll be installing the light, and make sure to unscrew the black piece from the fixture. Next, just take the cord from the light and plug it into the appropriate cable that's coming out of the power unit. Steps 13, 14, and 15 will have us assembling the diffuser shade. The metal frames have Velcro, as does the inside of the material, which will help keep everything in place. The last few steps include putting in the light bulb, the small drawer, and then securing the cables with clips along the back of the wooden pieces. And as always, I'll leave links in the description below to everything I use in this video, so make sure to check them out. The light that's included in the lamp has 3 different levels of color: a cool white, medium white, and then warm. So now the fun begins. How can I transform this into an RGB IC color changing fixture? The first thing you need to do is remove the light bulb. Next, go in and remove the black plastic ring that's screwed into the lighting unit. Now you should be able to take the top lampshade off, and then we just need to remove the light bulb housing parts. And this next part's not a big deal, but I think I want that rectangle cut out facing the back of the lamp versus the left side it's currently pointing. I'm going to quickly fix that. For lighting these up, I'm going to be using some BTF WS2812B LED strips. Now if you don't want to go through the simple wiring that I'm about to do, you could very well just use some Govee lights instead. So there's quite a few different ways to get these connected. Let's say you have a brand new roll with the beginning wire still attached. You can cut the black piece off and then use the white, green, and red wires to connect to the controller. However, let's say you wanted to use some thicker wires, or you're trying to use some leftover LEDs that you have. I'll go over how to get things set up for that scenario. I'm first going to apply some solder to the pads of the LED strip. Next, I'll be using some 18 gauge silicone wires and cutting off 3 pieces. It doesn't matter the color, but to make things simple, I'll use red, white, and green. Each piece is going to be about 4 inches long. Now you can strip one side of each color so that you have a little bit of the wire exposed. Here you can quickly tin the wires so that they'll be able to fuse together with the solder on the pads of the LED strips. In this step, I'll be taking the wires we just tinned and trimming them to about the size of the pads on the LED strip. Now you can just apply the hot iron to the top of the wire and it should melt into the solder that's on the LED pad beneath it. Next, just quickly strip the other end of the wires. I'll be using my favorite setup, which is WLED installed on an ESP8266 Wi-Fi board. You could also use an ESP32 module if preferred. Now I'll leave a link in the description for one of my previous videos where I walk you through the easy steps of getting the free WLED installed on this device. I've already soldered the wires to the pins, so we can begin to connect everything together. Now after receiving a lot of comments from people suggesting I try using Wago connectors, I finally ordered some. The idea is that you insert the 2 wires that you normally would twist together into the 2 slots and simply press down on the lever to lock it in place. Then you can easily lift the lever to remove them if you're someone like me who's always doing new projects and reusing old materials. I went out and bought a cheap 1 1/4 inch diameter dowel and cut it down to 13 1/4 inches in length. I'm not doing anything groundbreaking or original here, but just wrap the LEDs around it until you have good coverage. For reference, I ended up using 93 LEDs before making the cut. I'm just going to use some electrical tape for now to hold things in place because I want to make sure that this is even going to work and look cool before I'll take the backing off the LED strips and stick it to the wood. I disconnected the controller during the wrapping part, so now I'm going to quickly reattach things using the connectors, and I must say I'm really starting to love these things, so thank you to everyone who suggested I try them, as I don't think I'll be going back to the old way anytime soon. Now this is where things start to come together perfectly. You don't need to, but to provide a little more stability while getting things set up, I'll apply a little painter's tape over the middle hole and then set the wooden dowel with our LED strip on top of it. Next, I'm going to connect an old white micro USB phone charger cord to the ESP module. Now just take the USB end of the cord and put it through the rectangle box on the platform. All of the rest of the cables, just position those towards what will end up being the back of the light and secure them down with a little white electrical tape. Here I'm going to be using a little more tape to hide the cord as I work my way down towards the plugs. Now you can see in this shot that I have the micro USB cord plugged into the USB power supply on the top shelf. It's almost as if this lamp was designed for this RGB modification. Alright, so I promise this is the last step. You're going to take the lampshade and all you have to do is literally flip it upside down and put it back on. The center ring, which was previously at the bottom, should now slide perfectly on top of the wooden dowel, providing support to keep it upright. So that pretty much does it. I'm super happy with the lamps and even more excited about how they turned out after the simple RGB hack. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoy the final pictures and videos.